Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 9 of our 1.6.4 series. I'm Illusion,
And I'm Multiblocks.
and we're back together finally. It's been a long week of both of us kind of missing each other. And also, today is New Mod Monday. So, let me give you a quick tour around and show you kind of what we've been working on. So we've kind of been working separately, but so literally, we have not been on the server together in a week, 7 days. So,
Yeah.
we brought on our smeltery. And I'm going to show you what I did a few days ago. Just real quickly, I made a second ore washing plant and have this automated, and I actually have a fluid export bus exporting water to keep these running pretty well. So that's a little bit we did. We also made a recycler, not because we want the scrap, but because we had too much crap. And we just had to get rid of some of it, well, a
Yeah,
lot of
the
it.
system is getting a lot full
Yeah,
with all those
this
blocks.
the AE system keeps filling up with just junk. So we just started recycling it just to do something with it. So we'll come back to that in just a second. That's a little teaser. Let me come across the bridge and show you what Hotag made, or the update he made over here. And he left a little sign for me. Hold shift to go down. So what does that mean? Arcane Levitator. Cool. So he's been prettying this up and making it look really cool. You saw in the last episode where he was flying solo. He made this cool infusion crafting system and start getting these liquid aspects. So,
Oops, I
uh,
got flux in the ceiling.
so we get a little bit of taint up there on the ceiling. Nice. Good thing we came and looked before it got any worse.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
So this is kind of a cool little area, and of course we're going to pretty up the walls, or continue to make it look good. So yeah, this is really coming along cool. I like the way this looks. All right, so let's go back to the factory and let me start talking and let's go over some things that we've been talking about last few days. Let me come over here. All right. So I'm going to let you guys watch Hotag build something cool while I sit here and go through the notes that I had made. Alright, so like I said, today is New Mod Monday. So we added several new mods to the server and updated Thaumcraft and Darkcraft. And I got a notice yesterday that Railcraft needs to be updated, so we'll update that. So what did we update? We have now damage indicators. Chicken bones, chicken chunks is now fixed. So we got that. Creeper collateral, flat signs. We added NEI add-ons and plugins for forestry. Project Red, which is basically a spin-off of Red Power 2. And the only thing it doesn't have, let me switch here so you guys can kind of see. It has all the cosmetic blocks and the lamps, but it does not have any of the Red Power machines. And it has the wiring, it has the gates, get some new ore spawns for the ruby, sapphires, and peridot. So that little lamp on the floor was this new was the lamp from Project Red. So that's kind of a cool cool mod that we're going to play with, and it does have the basalt and marble spawn and the volcanoes. Thaumic Tinker for Thaumcraft, and we do have Morph, which you can kind of see what I've gotten so far. Just
Which is basically this.
so he's a baby creeper. Just remember that when you turn into a zombie and you go back out into the sunlight, you will die, which got me my first death pretty much right away. Because I killed a zombie, couldn't find the controls to get out of morph, to morph back into myself, and I died. Alright, so those are our new mods for the day. Next note I have is we are going to be starting a new series. We may record it today, or we're going to record it sometime this week. We're going to call it Advanced Logistics. So basically, we're going to kind of do some advanced automation or just some things that aren't generally seen and normal Minecraft series. So that's going to be a really fun series, and we already have a bunch of ideas that we're going to do. So look out for that this week or next week. IC2 Experimental Mod Spotlight, we are filming that within the next week or so. So look out that. I would say that we're going to at least get either the Mod Spotlight or at least the Advanced Logistics episode out this week. That's kind of our goal. Next thing we have is we're going to start doing giveaways for subscriptions. I actually saw on Hotag's stream today, he already started announcing it, so might as well announce it. So we're still kind of talking about what kind of giveaways we're going to do for subscribers and what, at what count we're going to do them at, but that's something we're going to do. One of the first things we did decide on is that we're going to do like a free server for a month, or we'll pay for a server for you and your friends to play on for a month. Some games, and maybe do a sub server. We got several ideas floating around. And last thing, I want to say thank you for all the new subs and the new comments and the new viewers. Hotag and I just started doing this for fun, so now that we're doing it for fun and we're getting nice feedback, that just makes it more fun for us and makes us want to continue to do it more. So that's all the notes that I have. Also wanted to say that this may be a little bit longer than 30 minutes. We try to keep our episodes to 30 to 35 minutes. So don't beat us up too hard if it's more like 40, because we have a lot to do, like a whole lot to do. So
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we are getting nuggets from the crushed TNR. So
yeah, I saw that. So you just saw as he made that we made the, what is this called? Infernal Furnace.
yeah.
So you can see you threw some tin ore in there, and we actually get 10 nuggets. You can actually increase the efficiency on this by putting some arcane bellows, is what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, and this also increases the
Speed, right?
output, the speed. Yeah.
And then we just have a hungry chest, so the hungry chest will just grab anything in its near inventory, and the Infernal Furnace actually runs off a jar of Ignis. Is that right?
Yeah. No, it runs without the jar of Ignis, but with the jar of Ignis, it's really fast.
Oh, okay. See, this is why I like having a partner, because man, he knows all that Thaumcraft stuff like back and forward, and I don't. I don't know it as much as he does. So let's get going. So today's going to be basically a machine and power episode. So I spent a while, in fact you can see my note for Hotag to keep his sticky hands out of here. I spent a while actually in the crafter and made all this stuff. So we're going to try to get as much of this stuff up as we can today and start working a little bit deeper into Gregtech so we can get this factory going a little bit. So first thing we're going to set up is we're going to set up a max size boiler. I went ahead and made one turbine. And so since we have all this fluid in our network, we have 77 buckets. We're going to start off the boiler on the fuel, and then we're going to go ahead and make, you can see that I went ahead and made a fermenter and stills to go ahead and start putting out ethanol, and then we'll just transition it over to ethanol once the fuel runs out. So we're going to work on that as well. One other cool thing, why do we have 4,000 eggs?
Because we might need some.
I thought you were joking earlier.
No.
He sent me a note in chat that said that I might want to check on the eggs. We had a lot, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
The reason I came in here is I wanted to show you guys. So we were talking about the steps of the ore processing. We were macerating it and then going to ore washing. So let me just show you what we've kind of done. Small pile. So these are all the small piles of metal that we would have missed had we not gone through the ore washing step. So you can see there's gold, there's some sulfur, there's iron. So you just do it a 9 by 9, and there's another 24 iron. Same thing with the tin. So there is one more step to this, and we have to get deeper into Gregtech to actually make it. So that's why we're kind of trying to get going with this. We're basically at a, like I was just telling Hotag, we're basically at a standstill as far as machines until we get these Gregtech stuff set up, especially the thermal centrifuge, or I'm sorry, the grinder. Thermal centrifuge is what I was going to show you. I gotta get rid of this because it's on synchronize. So the thermal centrifuge is actually made with titanium, and we can't get the titanium until we make the grinder. So basically we can't even get to this step yet until we start getting into Gregtech. So with that being said, let's get rid of these wires and let's go set up our boiler and let's get it start warming up so we can start getting some power going.
Yeah, because we really need the power.
Yes, we do need power. And with this high pressure boiler, this max size high pressure, we can actually run 2 turbines for a total of 400 EU a tick. So we are probably going to do that, but we're just we're still cooking up steel. Ran out of steel. All right, so get a fluid export bus for our fuel, but I am not going to set it yet, because I do not want this warming up without water yet. Okay, got that. You can hear those cows. Oh, you know what? I should go out there and show them the cows. I should show them what you've done with the cows we have.
Yeah. I just added the little thing on top, and that's why we are getting tons and tons of eggs.
Alright, so...
Because I wanted a couple feathers.
You just wanted a couple cows?
No, a couple feathers, and that's why we have like 4,000 eggs.
Oh, you just wanted a couple feathers, and we end up with
Yeah.
4,000 eggs. Okay, well that makes sense. Alright, so let's click this down here. Basically build myself up as we go.
Do
Here
do you already have the ender tank?
I do have the ender tank.
Okay, just checking.
So we'll have ender tank output that. So we should start filling up with water, which we are. And I will go ahead and set this to start running now. Oh wait. Is that right? Yeah, yes, fuel bucket. I'm sorry. I thought it said force, but it's force engine. Okay. Why you no take fuel?
Is the cable connected to the AC?
So I'm gonna go check. I thought I hooked it up right before I started recording.
I think it does.
So you may notice that, I'm missing a few tools and some armor and, all that stuff. Well, in my super sketchy pit, I died. And not only did I die, but a skeleton with, I'm suspecting is a knockback or a punch bow, shot me into lava and I lost everything. So I had to come and get a sword, and Hotag made me a pick out of what we had. So that's fine. So why is this not running like it should?
I think we still have fuel on the system.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have 77 buckets already.
Yeah, we have 77.
Still, so
I wonder if this
connects to the.
Yeah, I wonder if that doesn't like that. Okay, so
Maybe connected to the side?
to the side, you think?
Yep, maybe. Like the ender tank.
I've powered them before.
Yeah, only used to export like solid fuel, not liquid liquid ones.
Well, this is working fine for the 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 water. So why is this not exporting fuel? Okay, guys, give me a minute. I had fully expected this to work without any issue at all, and I guess we should have tested this. I'm not sure what's going on here. So give me a second. Give us a second. Let me figure out what we're going to do here because without this thing going, we can't get anywhere. So be right back. Okay, guys, we're back, and we had to do a little rigging per se to get this to work right. So basically the fluid export will not export to the firebox, but it will to a Buildcraft tank. And then we just popped on a set of translocators that is fast enough to keep that working. So not an ideal situation, but it's going to work. So whatever, it's Minecraft, right? All right, so I just finished making this, made this turbine rotor, and it should, since they're connected, it should output the steam over there. If not, I'll pop a few pipes. So I'm gonna finish running. So I'm gonna finish breaking this tunnel so I can actually make some. There we go. So I can make a little path for we can output our wire. Alright, so that'll work, and I'll pull right off the turbine. Okay, so I actually hollowed this little area out. So basically this is going to be where we're going to keep our batteries and our MFSUs and MFEs and everything. So this is just kind of be like energy storage cave. So I have gold cable right here. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. So gold cable is 512. So the reason I chose 512 is this is 128, and since each turbine puts out 200 EU tick, it'll blow this wire. So we can bump it up to gold, and that way when we do set up our second turbine, we can just tie it into one piece of wire and run both the power. And not there. Oh, this is the. Oh, got it. This is that special pick he gave me, the Darkcraft pick. So actually,
I didn't like the way you said special pick.
Well, like the audience can see that I'm using all Tinker's Construct, and you're using pretty much all Darkcraft.
It's easier to make them.
Okay. So one other thing that I wanted to talk about is that so turbine. I know I get sidetracked. Turbine output gold cable to here, and then basically we're going to have this as our collection point of energy, and then this corridor runs right underneath all the multi-blocks and down to the ore processing. So basically this whole network right here will be nothing but IC2 power. All right, so let me put that up, and let's go ahead and start making our machines. So one thing I was going to talk about, and let's fill this into, is that I have recently started watching a new series on YouTube that is called the Inspiration Series by Corrales and BOO. Have you seen that before?
No.
It's pretty cool. Basically, they just tour different builds, and just basically for you to watch the video and kind of get inspired with different builds and different build styles, and it's pretty cool. Actually, I've been enjoying it. So shout out to Big BOO. Try to remember to tag him on Twitter so he can see us too. All right, so let's make this grinder as our boiler's heating up. So we'll make that first because that is where we are stuck at. Do you have a shovel on you?
No, I have the Smith. It's like
Okay.
a shovel but faster.
Okay, can you get rid of all that for me? That dirt?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so, and I need a bucket of water. Can you get me a bucket of water?
Yep. Going.
So basically I came through and just labeled where I wanted everything to go. so I can kind of get used to this layout. So with the Gregtech grinder, 3x3 of standard machine case, which are fairly cheap, it's nothing but iron. Reinforced casings, second layer with open in the middle, and water in the center. Top layer with, again, standard machine casings. So that's our multi-block. So with these, you can actually use up to 4 different grinders, but they also have to be in the middle block of both horizontal and vertical on each face. All right, so now we have, keep in mind, Gregtech, you got to give it a, once you place it, you got to give it a second update. Okay, so now we're updated. So now we do have a green light letting us know that we do have a complete machine casing. And let's go ahead and wire this up. You have junk down here. Oh, that's the sign and stuff. Okay, so fluid export on the bottom, hopefully that works with water. I mean, it's working on other machines, so I would hope that that works.
Well, let's see.
Guess we'll find out soon, huh?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't think the ME system has water in it. Let me see.
Oh, I thought you wired that pump back up.
Yeah, wired to the ender tanks, not to the
okay.
To the system.
Can you just put a storage bus on the ender tank or whatever, or on a Buildcraft tank so it'll pull off that?
Okay, just let me.
Yes.
And make an ender tank.
Okay, thank you. So basic import on the right side, and we're going to bring up power to the left side. So let me get something to stand on. And then a precision.
Oh, actually, we don't have ender pearls. Let me just get some.
Okay, there over here, in this chest over here, there's an extra tank that we were using for something else. There it is in that chest. I believe that's the one we had for oil. So we'll just have to see what's going on there. Okay, so that's good and wired up. So basically, I got fluid export bringing in water, which I'll put this in this bottom slot. The precision export will dump to here, and on the right side, we'll bring any of the whatever's finished cooking or finished grinding. We'll bring out the right side. So let's cover this back up, and I'm going to bring power up the left side. So we'll bring that for power. Just a minute. Okay. And what also I'm going to do is all of our multi-blocks will have a dedicated CESU. So the output of those is 128. So basically, and it has an output of, or a capacity of 300K. So basically, these will all have an internal buffer of power. So, and I'm probably going to maybe put that there. Probably take it down a block, but so just like that. But I'm going to pop this one wire off just so we don't have any kind of surges or anything. So we'll come back and wire that up in just a second, and then we'll throw a facade right there to make it look pretty. Cool. So now we have our first multi-block. So this whole corner will be nothing but ore processing and material processing to keep us going. Okay, so let's grab the next set of multi-blocks. Which will be, well, we cannot finish making the blast furnace yet because I need to grind up some few things. Cannot make the sawmill because we were waiting on things. So let's just go ahead and I will place down the blocks for it, and then we'll come back in once we get some power. We'll actually finish wiring that. So I need to get 2 buckets of lava. I went in a creative world and tested this to give us, there's some lava in there.
If you want some lava, I have the buckets.
Okay, I got
1 bucket.
I have 1 bucket of lava in the network, so I will need 1 more. So I went into a creative test world and tested out what would be the best best settings for this to get us good heat. With the new Gregtech, you cannot start adding coils until you get at least 2,000 heat. So we will be making, I think with this setup right here, I think it'll take us right to 2,000. So I have 25 reinforced and 9 standard. So let's go ahead and make this. We'll put those where you can't see them. Just a sec. Okay, so we can toss in 2 buckets of lava.
And I'm back.
Okay. So then we'll just toss in our lava there. So I have 1 on me, and I got both of them on me. So 1 there, and 1 there. Don't fall in. Okay. So now that is our structure for that. So we'll continue to work on this once we get some power, so we can grind up the materials. So what I'm waiting on, let me just show you real quickly, and I'll break the camera while we're waiting on the boiler to heat up a little bit. So I'm waiting on this copper nickel dust, and I need to grind up some nickel so I can get that. So it's actually copper and nickel combined. But with the nickel, if I put it through the grinder, I can actually start getting some of this platinum, versus if I just did it with a normal macerator. So basically I'm going to wait on the grinder, that way I can pick up, you know, a couple stacks of platinum, tiny piles of platinum dust without having to do anything extra. So I will stop the camera for just a minute, wait for we get a little bit more power so we can actually run these machines, or definitely this one, and then that's going to continue to work through. We're actually waiting on some other stuff so we can actually make the sawmill over there. So be right back in just a minute. Okay guys, back, and we finished setting this all up and getting it wired, and went ahead and made that. Went ahead and stuck a CSU so we'll have dedicated power, and we wired this all up. It looks like we're doing good on power. So that's kind of the setup we have, you know, just these little corridors, just this basement to run power. One thing that's changed, there's actually a GUI now for the transformers. So we hooked it all up and we're like, what's going on, where we get power? And then we clicked on it. Actually, Hotai clicked on it, like, hey, there's a GUI. So just make sure you kind of click on that if you're using this version, so it kind of give you, so you can set up what you want to do, which we're doing stepping down from 512 of MFE to 128. All right, so let's go make this blast furnace, and we will probably call that an episode. What you working on?
I was enchanting my clothes, my robes.
Your robes. Cool.
Yeah, my magic robes.
All right, so we have induction furnace, a steel casing, and some electronic circuit. I think that is everything. I think I had everything made. Yeah, looks like it. Actually, which one's open? There we go. Let's do it this way, so I can see it. So induction.
Just to warn, we don't have any fuel on the system.
We are out of fuel.
I think.
Well, that is not good. So definitely next episode, we will be fixing that issue with our tree farm and our saplings. So blast furnace, and click this down here, hope for no explosions, and we have a complete casing. Give it a second to update, and now we can click on it. So now we have a heat of 2020. So that's the reason I use these reinforced, is so to get us to a heat of 2000, so we can start using the coils. Because under 2000 heat, you cannot use any coils, and like in the older versions, to bump. You know, you can make a standard casing and then just fill it with coils until you got the heat. Well, they changed that, so you have to get the heat of 2020 or 2000. So we'll make some more coils, so we can actually we'll probably make both sets once we get a little further into Gregtech so that we can go to max of 3,000. So that kind of concludes this episode. So next episode we're going to focus on getting our ethanol going pretty quickly. We can get some MJ power to power it. We can probably pull off some, since we're not using all that steam, we may just pull off some steam power off of that to run quickly run some ethanol and get this thing fueled up. And I hear a more. Where is?
Ah,
Oh, so we're having fun with this mods. So thanks for joining us on this episode. We'll look for our next episode 10. Episode 10, we're going to continue to work on power, continue expanding our machines, and we're going to start processing of bauxite. So if you remember what I told you about bauxite, then you'll know what we kind of got in store for next episode. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitch and Twitter for updates to us and the channel and whatever we're doing, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.